Hi everybody, welcome to Coffee and Crafting. My name is Elizabeth and I'm with Country Peony, and Country Peony is a DIY and craft blog that focuses on simple and inexpensive crafting projects and whimsical spaces. And happy MLK Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. My kids are home today, and so I broke away to the studio for just a bit to craft with you, and I'm so excited to do just that. Today we are going to be making these adorable conversation hearts. I'm using them as ornament hangers for my really charming Valentine's Day tree, but I've got a couple of other ideas that you can use them for, so stay tuned for that. And so for today's project, if you have any questions, in the description below, I've got the full blog post tutorial for this. I actually created this last year. It was a favorite on the blog, so I thought it'd be really fun to bring it back today and to show you in real time how to make it, to hopefully inspire you to make it yourself. So I would love to know where you're coming from. We got a really cold, I guess you call it Arctic blast last night. So I'd love to know if it's cold where you're at. We're here in Texas, and it's a really quiet and cold day, but I'm loving it. It's a perfect day to craft. So thank you so much for joining me. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. And in the description below is the full tutorial for this blog project. Okay, so again, today we are making these adorable conversation hearts. And this is episode 19 of Coffee and Crafting. I can't believe we're at episode 19 already. I love to grab a warm cup of coffee and craft in the afternoon. I think it's a beautiful way to spend 30 minutes of your day. So thank you so much for joining me for 30 minutes today. Okay, so we're going to get started. Let me take a sip of coffee so I can be empowered for today's live. Okay, there are a couple of things that make today's project really simple and really fun. And the first is these wooden heart cutouts from Woodpecker's Crafts. They're pretty thin, but I love that because they're really lightweight. You can put them on a Christmas tree like I have here for my Valentine's Day tree, or you can use blocks and set them up for decor. Or the really great thing is, since they're so light, you can connect them together and make a beautiful garland. So if you don't have your own Valentine's Day tree, I recommend getting one. But if you don't, if it's not your thing, I understand. You can also use today's tutorial for a garland for a fun vignette setup, and I'll show you how to do that later. So the first thing you're going to need are these wooden hearts. And again, I've linked everything below in the description, so don't worry if you miss it. And then you are going to need some fun paint. My favorite is Folk Art or Apple Barrel, both by Plaid Crafts. These are craft acrylic paints, very simple, very easy. You can even get your kids involved because these paints are really fun to work with. And then if you're going to make a hanger, you're going to need, I like to use 20 gauge craft wire. This is a little bit thinner. This is a 24 gauge, but it's really up to you and what you have around, and then a wire cutter. And then you're going to need some type of glue. I prefer a hot glue, and this is my favorite hot glue gun. It's by Ryobi. It is wireless. I've also linked it below. It's amazing. Okay, and then for the amazing tool that I have to make this really simple and to get your beautiful letters on here is the Cricut. So regardless, whatever cutting machine you have, honestly, you could also use stickers if you don't have a cutting machine. But if you don't have a cutting machine and you love to craft, I highly recommend Cricut. I love their cutting machines. I've worked with Cricut before, and they're so simple. This is the one that I have. It is the Cricut Explore 3. I love it so much. It is an investment, but I use it on a weekly basis. And if you are new to the Cricut, this is a really great project for you because it is so beginner friendly. Honestly, I was actually really intimidated by cutting machines. I'm not really tech savvy and I don't like reading instructions, but the Cricut is amazing. So I've linked that below as well. And I'm going to show you a really fun, almost magical way to use it today. So those are the tools that you're going to need for today's project. And let's just get started. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. I'd love to know where you're coming from. And I just want to say thank you for spending some time with me today. It means so, so much. Okay, and I'm going to send a teaser for next week on my 20th episode. If you're here during the live, I've got a special treat for you, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so we're going to get started. Before I start any project, I always like to come up with a really beautiful color palette. And for today's color palette, of course, I was inspired by the pinks of Valentine's Day, but I wanted to add a really fun pop. And so I think this mustard yellow is a really great way to add a fun pop without overdoing it. And it's a great way to kind of lean into spring as it comes. And so we've got your beautiful pinks. I've also got a pale pink. And then the yellows. I think they're gorgeous together. But you can do whatever colors you want. I think a beautiful blue would be pretty with the pinks, a brown, a green, honestly, whatever your heart desires, because that's what it's all about, just having fun and creating. Okay, so we're going to start by painting the heart. When I'm painting wooden products like this, I prefer to use a foam brush. I just think the application's a lot easier. So we are just going to directly apply the paint onto the wooden heart. That's another thing. You don't have to have a paint palette. You just do a small line like so, and then you're just going to spread it out with your foam brush. Very, very simple, and that paint really just soaks so beautifully into your wooden heart. So I did feature this on the blog last year. Like I said, it was a favorite project because it's so simple and the applications are very versatile. So again, you can use this on your tree like I have here, or you can make your own garland. You can loop them together. You can drill some holes in them and do some key rings. Some O-rings, or you can use ribbon. Or you can even add a block to them and make them standing so they freestand to create a beautiful vignette. And the conversation hearts, honestly, I just think it's so cute when people decorate with conversation hearts. I think it's a great conversation starter because you can add your own text to it. But I also think it's just an easy, cute way to decorate for Valentine's Day without getting overly decorative, if that makes sense. Some people have a hard time decorating for Valentine's Day. I did do a poll on my Facebook and Instagram, and most of you do decorate for Valentine's Day, which I love so much. I love to decorate for Valentine's Day because I love pinks and I love reds, and I just love hearts. Hearts make me so, so happy. Okay, so this is one coat, and this color that we're using is called King's Gold. I think it's a beautiful mustard yellow. It's from Apple Barrel. And all I did was did one coat, and then I covered the edges. I didn't do the back. Now, if you're going to place this on a table, I would recommend doing a back. But since I'm putting it directly on my tree, I did not worry about doing the back. It's just up to you and what you want to do with it. So you're going to set that aside to dry, and that's one coat. So I already did this one previously and it's dry now. This is one coat dried, so we're going to add another coat to that. So again, so simple. You just add the paint directly to your wooden piece. And now, since you already have one coat on here, the paint isn't going to soak in as much as it did the first time, but that's okay. Just use less paint, because the only thing that I don't like about doing it this way is if you use too much paint, it starts to bulk up on there, and you don't want ridges. You want a nice, clean face on this heart. So it's just up to you. Okay, I'd love to know if you want to put in the comments if y'all do decorate for Valentine's Day, because I know it's tough right after Christmas. Some people just want a clean slate, and I totally get that. But when it comes to me and decorating, more is always more. And so I just love decorating for Valentine's Day. Okay, so here is a second coat. I think that's enough for this. I did 2 coats on all of my hearts behind me. And so I think we're ready. We're ready to add some fun embellishments. And so the back I did not paint for this reason, because it's going to be an ornament hanger. But again, if you're going to use it on a table as a part of a vignette, I would recommend painting it. Okay? So, I got a little paint on my island, this gorgeous island that I have. It's an old teaching workbench. It was in a classroom, and it's just so dirty and beautiful already. But anyway, I just had to clean that up. Okay, so we're going to set that aside, and we're going to let those dry. So I've got one here that is dry already. Let me clean my fingers so that we've got a nice, clean surface to work on. Okay, I'm going to set all of this aside, and then we're going to add my favorite part. We're going to add the letters onto our heart. And so this one I already added the hanger, but I'll show you how to do that in a little bit, so don't worry. So you can use it like this. Honestly, for my tree, I did a mix of both. I did sayings and I did some that are blank just because I love the colors, and the pop of color is so fun. So it's just really up to you. But I wanted to show you how simple it is and how fun it is to add the letters to it. So I use my Cricut Explore 3, and I actually use my phone. They have a great app on there, but you can use your laptop, your desktop, whatever you have. And I just created a letter. For this one, I did craft happy because I think that's a cute saying. I love to have, anyway, when I'm crafting, I love to it makes me so happy. So, okay, so you probably can't see it now, but I've cut out, this is called a smart vinyl. So you don't need a mat. It's very, very simple. You just tell the app what you want in there, and then you cut it. And honestly, another reason why I like the smart vinyl is because whenever I work with the mats, I don't know if you've used mats before, but they get really sticky, and it's always been really difficult for me. So the smart vinyl is amazing because you don't need the mat. Okay, so we're going to take our really handy dandy weeding tool, and we're going to weed this letter. I'm just going to take off the piece that I don't need, and it's so fun. If you've never weeded before, I love to weed. I know some people don't like it because it can be really tedious. Honestly, for me, it is very therapeutic. Okay, so you're just going to take out the pieces that you don't need, and then I will show you. And I chose white for this. I chose a white vinyl, but you can do whatever color you want. I think the white popped off of these colors so beautifully, and the colors themselves are very vibrant already, so I didn't think that it needed anything special. Okay, so if you can see, it says craft on there. It's very hard to see because the background is also white, but that's very simple. Okay, so now I am going to use, this is called transfer tape, and all this does is it basically lifts these letters, these vinyl letters, off of this backing, and then that allows you to directly apply it onto your heart. So cool. Okay, and another note with this transfer tape, this is just a standard transfer tape. One time I got a professional grip one, and it ruined some of my projects because I didn't look at it before, and it was meant for stronger projects. So this is just a standard transfer tape, and that will work. And all I'm doing now is I'm peeling off the back, and this is the only part that can be a little tedious sometimes, so bear with me. And sometimes I like to use the weeding tool to kind of pick it up first. That might help in this situation. Okay, let's see if I've got it now. And I do this process probably about once a week, if not maybe, I don't know, a couple times a week because it's so fun, and it's a really great way to add a professional look to your projects. Okay, so it's essentially just a tape. And so all you do is you take this piece that you already cut, and you're going to just directly apply that vinyl and that transfer tape onto your cut letters. Okay, so press that on there, and they've got these handy dandy tools that Cricut has, and you just use it, you press into there, and all I'm doing is I'm pressing onto there so I can make sure that that tape adheres to my letters. Okay, so now I'm going to slowly peel off the letters and the tape, and I don't know why, I just think this is so cool every single time I do it. It is so neat. Okay, so you've got your vinyl, and I'm going to eyeball the middle, but you can use a ruler for this. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to attach it directly onto my my heart that's painted, making sure that it's dry. And I'm just directly attaching it onto there. And then I'm going to pull it down a little bit because I think it needs to be more in the middle. Okay, so I've got it on there. And so now I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this tool and I'm going to push it out onto my heart. And as far as the font, I went with a very simple font, but you can do whatever you want. You can have a lot of fun with it. Okay, so now you slowly pull off that tape. I just like to go very close to the letters. And there you have it. How cute is that? So here's the first part, craft. And now I'm going to add the happy part. And that was so simple, wasn't it? And it's so satisfying because it's instant gratification, which I love crafts that are very simple because honestly, we all have very busy lives and I just think it's great. Yes, it is backward, Laura. I'm sorry. I have it so that I can see y'all and I can see what you're sending me. So I'm sorry, everything's backward. But if you go onto my blog or if you check out the post that I just posted onto Facebook, you can see how it's supposed to look. Okay, and as I was pulling that off, an A came off, but that's okay. We can just stick it right back in. Okay, happy. It's kind of hard to see. Okay, so now I'm going to take the transfer tape once more, and this time I'm going to try to use my weeding tool to get this off of here. I know y'all want to see this. This is such a simple project, and like I said, if you're new to the Cricut machine or a cutting machine, this is a great one to start with because it's so simple. Okay, so, and whenever I'm using my transfer tape, I like to cut it in advance so that I only use just a little bit because I don't want to waste this precious tape. Okay, so I have the tape attached to it, and now for the magic part. Okay, we're going to slowly peel. Actually, I need to press this down a little bit more, make sure it adheres. Okay, now slowly peel the letters off, and if they don't stick, then you can try a different area. There you go. Perfect, perfect, or that is the right way. There you go. I have it turned around. Okay, now I'm going to attach it again, trying to find my center. So cool. Craft happy. Okay, and I'm just going to take this wonderful smoothing tool. I'm going to smooth it out, press it down, really apply some pressure to it. It's so fun. It is so much fun. Okay, and I think that's enough, so I'm going to carefully peel it off. And there you have it. I'm sorry it's backward for you, but it is the right way for me. I know because, you know, I'm looking at you now, so I apologize for that. Look how cute that is. Isn't that adorable? Okay, so we've got this one, and then you're going to want to attach the hanger to it. And so all you do is you're going to cut a piece of wire, and let's see, I'm just going to peel this one off for you. I've cut a piece of wire, and then I twisted it over to make a simple loop for your hanger. And I had mentioned that if you wanted to do a garland, this is the way that you could hang them too, without adding holes. And then you're just going to take a really big glob of hot glue. I'm using my hot glue gun that I love. And then you're just going to add the hanger directly to the hot glue. I would let it sit there for a little while as it dries. Very simple, very easy, and very fun. And now you have a charming conversation heart decoration ornament for your Christmas tree, for your garland or for whatever. Now, before you go, I want to show you another way to use these. Okay, so here I have painted this beautiful, beautiful pink, which I love. I just love these colors together. And then with this pink, it's so fun. So, okay, so for this one, I would recommend painting it all the way around. Once you apply your letters to it, then you can attach a cube. I've also linked some cubes below. This is just a wooden cube, and then you're going to hot glue the back directly to it. You can also use a wood glue or whatever, but since today I want to get this done before, I don't want to have to wait for the wood glue to dry. So I've painted this because you are going to see this piece, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the hot glue directly to the wooden block, and then I'm going to attach it onto your heart, okay? And so I should have painted this back because this is going to be sitting up on a table and people will see that, but just for today's purposes, you can do that whenever you do it yourself. So for this, I did not add the lettering to it, but you easily can. Or you can add hearts, or you can even paint it. You don't have to do the letters if you don't want to do the conversation hearts. If you don't have a cutting machine, again, you can use stickers. You can use, you can do even like felt lettering would be really cool. It'd be a fun interest piece. You can use ribbon. You could do all kinds of really cool things with this. Okay, so I am waiting for the hot glue to dry. Again, I would have painted this back. But this is just another way to use these conversation hearts if you don't have a tree or you don't want to hang them on a garland. And so there you have it. It is freestanding. How cute is that? So, so cute. So you could have a bunch of these lined up together on a table. You can put some in front of the other. So cute. So anyway, if you have any questions, I'm always available. You can ask me any questions in my messages, or you can comment on here. I'm happy to answer them. But and all of the tools from today's tutorial are in the description below. But I really hope you feel inspired to start decorating for Valentine's Day. This holiday really brings me so much joy to decorate for. And please join me next Monday for episode 20 because I've got a really fun surprise for you if you join me live here on Monday at noon on Facebook for another episode of Coffee and Crafting. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys, and I hope you have a great rest of your Monday and a beautiful week. Thank you, guys.